What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and it looks like Joe Rogan and Barstool Sports are being blasted as trash garbage. It's an interesting position to have as somebody who is a fan of both. This is a weird thing to see the media pick up. Now, who said that they were, quote, trash garbage? Because I didn't say they were trash garbage. Well, it's legendary music producer and audio engineer and frontman Steve Albini. Now, unless you are a big fan of the late 80s, early 90s music, you may not recognize that name, but he's worked on some of my all-time favorite records. He's worked with the Pixies all the way back in the late 80s up until the 90s. Superchunk in the early 90s, maybe 91, 92. PJ Harvey, obviously he worked on In Utero in 93. Elvis Costello, just a wide variety of a lot of music that I still listen to today. But he was giving an interview today, and he referred to these people as anti-woke comedians. I don't really know what that is, but let's see what this crabby old man has to say. Prolific record producer and engineer Steve Albini is known for being outspoken about the music industry's mistreatment of artists, but he doesn't hold back when being asked about other topics. The Axpo frontman, Eugene Robinson, recently interviewed Albini for his newsletter's 5 Easy Pieces feature, in which he posed 5 questions unrelated to music. So while being asked about the Keep It Toss It list of celebrities, Albini took the opportunity to take down podcast host Joe Rogan and media company Barstool Sports, who he decried for making trash garbage. Albini began criticizing transgressive art that is simply being used as a veneer to justify being a creep. Name-checking Vice, co-founded by Gavin McInnes, who later founded the Proud Boys. I'm not going to use their determination of what they said. He also called the media company a parade of gawkers reveling in whatever misery they can observe from an ironic distance. F that stuff completely. He later took an aim at Joe Rogan and Barstool. Rogan, Barstool, all these anti-woke comics, just F them all in the eye. It's trash garbage, and I want it all to fail. What? What exactly is an anti-woke comedian? Most of us would probably refer to that as a normal human being. Have you ever seen any of these woke comedians? They don't get applause. They don't get laughs. They get applause. Or these. For the people that, I don't know, clapping is canceled or something like that. That's what the late night show hosts get. They don't get laughs. They get applause. These aren't comedians. They are activists. When you watch Joe Rogan, I don't really, his stand-up so in my opinion. My interest really is just in the podcast and who he interviews. But what Albini's talking about is like people that make jokes that are funny. Barstool, a lot of their humor is nowadays considered edgy, but 5 years ago it was pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. I mean, remember when College Humor used to make edgy jokes? I don't know how old you are out there, but I used to love going to College Humor. Like their bit with the Phantom of the Office, hilarious. Check out their website now. It's basically like a progressive activist. Look at their YouTube channel. It's completely dead. There's nobody left. Why do you think that is? I mean, if I just, if I go here, let's see, YouTube, let's take a look for College Humor, just as a, and humor obviously is in their name, 14.1 million subscribers, okay? 14.1 million subscribers. And I get more views than them, like easily. 2 weeks ago, 150,000 views. I mean, here's everything terrible Trump has done. 591,000 views. Now, I'm not saying you can't make fun of Trump, but I'm saying this channel is dead and it's mostly political now. instead of, kids or climate change, all this stuff. Nobody thinks this is funny. A year old, 200,000 views. These people have over 14 million subscribers. Nobody thinks this crap is funny. What if all the stupid stuff your racist neighbor you can't stand said was typed up and put in a blog? Nope, still trash, still F it. I want them all out looking for work. Into the chipper with all of it. Okay. I don't know how old Albini is. He's probably got to be dang near 60. I'm not sure he's in touch with reality anymore. He says, the older I get, the less certain I am of some things, and the more obvious others seem. One that has become clear over time is that nobody deserves your attention. I agree. You dole it out, and you can decide who deserves it, Albini later said. While speaking more broadly, the idea that we can remove the artist from the art means that the art isn't communicating anything. After all, it's just decoration and amusement. I refuse to look or listen that way. Well, that sounds like a terrible life. A lot of my favorite musicians are insufferable on Twitter or, Instagram or whatever. So I don't follow them. Because I don't want woke politics. I don't want politics to ruin everything in my life. There are things where it's like, okay, I'm going to walk away from Disney Plus. That's super easy. But music is really important to me. And, I don't think when Sufjan Stevens puts out a record, he only wants one person's political opinions buying it. Now, we've seen Eminem come out and do that. Stunning and brave for Eminem, who's worth $1 billion, to now all of a sudden say, oh, I don't want Trump supporters buying my records. Oh, real safe. If you go back to some of the lyrics that Eminem has throughout his career, I don't think I'm going to use him as a moral high ground. No disrespect to his career, but again, it's not exactly brave to come out and say something like that. These people aren't musicians. They are activists. At the bare minimum, Rogan deserves criticism for giving their Joe Rogan Experience guests like aforementioned Gavin McInnes, nutjob, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, and Milo a platform to spread their toxic beliefs. It's telling that Spotify didn't make some of his most controversial episodes available on its streaming platform. Yeah, I know. You love censorship. I get it. Previously, he had announced that the entire podcast catalog would be available on Spotify. Yeah, Rogan did take that L, and he never really owned it from what I saw. Meanwhile, Barstool Sports has become infamous, and as a self-described sports and spicy stuff media company decrying political correctness, in particular, founder Dave Portnoy has come under fire for casually making jokes we don't like, while also encouraging followers to be critical of social media reporters who lie about him. I'm editorializing that because that's the real story. People don't like Dave Portnoy because he's wildly financially successful. And there's a reason that normal people have an audience. There's a reason that these woke comedians get applause and not laughs. There is room for these woke performance arts. There is an audience for that. I mean, if you're still watching Saturday Night Live, you're the audience. And I bet you when you watch Saturday Night Live, here's what they get nowadays at best. I'm going to do a reaction. Let me get into the right space. Actually, let me give you the full view here. This is probably the best that Saturday Night Live gets right now. Okay, I'm the Saturday Night Live viewer. I'm just sitting there. I'm on my couch talking to my cat. Do you see what Trump did last month? Yeah, Trump, am I right? That's what modern day Saturday Night Live generates for laughs. It's like, take anyone. Okay, here's a hilarious test for you. Take anybody who isn't overtly political, right? And see if they can name 3 Saturday Night Live cast members. You know what I mean? Like, only people that tune in to Saturday Night Live want to consume far left politics. The show isn't funny. There was a time when you had, Belushi, Steve Martin, Adam Sandler, Norm Macdonald, in my opinion, the funniest of all time, the most hilarious living comedian, and it's not even close. They made political jokes, but they were funny and they weren't so cringe and on the nose. And they made fun of both sides, which of course they don't do anymore either. Steve Albini, I'm a big fan of some of the audio engineering you've done, but maybe just stick to sitting on your front porch yelling at kids. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.